you behind closed doors. See, a lot of things go on behind closed doors and no one will ever know. What I'm going to share with you what happened to Dad and I behind closed doors. We were so looking forward to being sponsored by this company because for years people said people didn't get these type of sponsorships anymore and blase blase. And finally here comes a dream come true for us. And so, of course, these companies will remain anonymous. But we are in the boardroom, in the conference room with the CEOs of the company. We're having a conversation, and one of the CEOs looked kind of uncomfortable. And we say, okay, does anyone else have anything to say? Any more questions? And we shared a little bit about our background, where we come from, our history on the tournament circuit, our wins, the tournaments we've done well. Normally when we show up to these type of meetings, and here's a tip for you guys, always be prepared. Show up prepared. Show up first dressed the part. And make sure that you have your material. For a tournament fisherman, make sure that you have in your possessions your wins, good photos, all that, references, all that information. Now it's a new age, so all that can be done digitally or on a flash drive. Back then we actually had paper, a binder, a portfolio. And so all of a sudden that CEO that was uncomfortable says, I gotta ask a question. And I said, Dad and I was like, yeah, go ahead, ask the question. He said, you know, my daughter said I was crazy for even thinking this, but I just want to know, if we bring you on pro staff, will people still purchase our products? Ooh. I said, what do you mean? You know, the CEO goes on to say, well, you know, with everything going on in the world, you know, I just want to know, will people still purchase our product because you guys are on pro staff? Now, Dad and I thought we knew what he was saying, but we wasn't 100% sure. Because a lot of times, people that look like me, we are accused of always pulling out the race card. And I don't even like my mind to go to something might be prejudice, racist. I don't even like to think about that first. And sometimes we just can't help it as a people. And so in my mind, I think I know what he's talking about, but I want to make sure. I don't want to assume. You know, there's a saying about this assumption. So I said, what do you mean? I said, are you referring to because we're African American? Ooh. And he goes, well, yeah, because you know, my daughter said that I was crazy for saying this, but you know, we're in the business of selling product, and we're in the business of making sales, making money, and we don't want to bring on anything or anyone that will hamper or stop us from making sales. Dad and I looked at each other and listen, for those that don't know, I don't run away from those conversations. It doesn't make me nervous or scared. And so I said, well, listen, I appreciate you bringing that up in this conference room, in this boardroom, because most of the times these conversations happen behind closed doors or happen after the person leaves the room. So anyway, I said, no, I'm sponsored by another company at the time that was a whole lot bigger than that company. And I said, and I've been with that company for several years. I have had no problem selling products. Dad and I had no problem making sales. No, I don't think there will be an issue. Well, we get on pro staff. And remember, I said, every message we share with you all has a meaning that can be applied to everyone. no matter what type of situation that you're in. Get on pro staff, and y'all, believe it or not, the fear that that man had actually manifested itself. I remember going to this particular place of business to get some things done, and that particular business was connected to this company that we are now sponsored, that we were sponsored by. And anyway, the people at that particular business began to ask us inappropriate questions. For instance, how much do you make? How much does this company give you? What's in your contract? Oh no! Here's another tip. Never disclose that information. And here's another thing that if you did not know, most companies have in the contract that you can't disclose what's in the contract. And I remember one thing they kept on saying, that they kept saying that, well, you're getting this for free, and you're getting that, and you're getting that. Why? The thing that kept on irritating Dad and I was the word free. James Brown has a song that says, "I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open up the door, and I get it myself." See, Dad and I have been in this industry for over 15 years, coming up to 20 years. We've been on television, been in countless of magazines and newspapers. I've written papers. Well, won tournaments, did seminars, spoke at boat shows all around the United States. So we have worked in the industry. There is nothing, and then we have requirements. Listen, when you become a pro staffer, for those that are trying to get into the sport and trying to take your career to another level, professionally and efficient, this is not what it's all made to be, like it's just all fun. There are requirements that you must do, that you must keep in order to get certain things, whether it's monetary or products. You must do something. And so that's always irritated us when people said that, as if there's no reward for your work, or there should not be. So they said that, and I remember very respectfully, Dad and I said, well, we can't tell you that, blah, blah, blah. You can't go into those details. Long story short, I get back to the house, and I get a call from the CEO of that company, the same CEO that said, will people still purchase products if you bring your own pro staff? Get a phone call, and he said, what happened at that other establishment? What happened at that place of business? I said, what do you mean? He said, I just got an email from that business owner, and they said, because of Team Roper, we are no longer going to be partners or connected with your company. No, I was dumbfounded. I said, what are you talking about? I said, this is not adding up. This is not making sense. From our conversations there, it's not like we cussed anyone out. It's not like we got loud. Like, where is this coming from? What are you talking about? He said, do you understand, this is the CEO, do you understand how much, if they end this contract with us, how much money we would have lost? I said, no. He said, over $100,000. Huh? Over $100,000. I said, for what? There is nothing that we talked about that would have made someone want to cut ties and make this company lose over $100,000. What's the message? Have you ever been flying high? Remember, this was a sponsorship that everyone from a kid told me it was impossible to get. Have you ever been flying high and out of nowhere, something hits you in your gut. Something just knocks the air out of you. Folks, that's what Advent does. It knocked the air out of me because I have never been told that I was the purpose. I was the reason why this company was getting ready to lose out of $100,000. So has that ever happened to you? Has that ever happened? And if it hasn't happened, be on guard that it might happen. That you might get to a place in your dreams, in your career, in your profession that you've always wished, that you've always dreamed of from a child. And now you're there at the pinnacle of your career. You're there. And something out of nowhere might happen. What are you going to do? How are you going to respond? I think about Klay Thompson. You know, I told you I'm a Warriors fan. Think about Klay Thompson, flying high. And then all of a sudden, has a major injury that has taken some people out, works his way back, goes to recovery, gets back out, and then boom, something else happens to him. Now he's out for 2 years and he can't do what he wants to do, what he loves to do, what he has passion for, which is basketball. Klay would tell you that he was devastated in the beginning. But he got his mind right. See, folks, that mentally worked on me. When that happened, there's a saying that we have in church. It says, new levels, new devils. That was something totally new. I have never encountered that, ever. And then when we tried to get answers like, well, why did he say that? And what was it? What did we do? Blah, blah. No one could give us an answer. See, I want to let you know that there is going to come a time, if it has not, where you might get caught off guard, where your business might be doing so well, and then all of a sudden you find out that the person handling your finances hasn't been doing what he's supposed to be doing or she's supposed to be doing. Or you're an athlete or something like that, and all of a sudden you might have a terrible accident, an injury that has you sidelined. What I don't want you to do is mentally check out. What I don't want you to do is physically check out. I want you to go in this knowing that it is a possibility that because of jealousy, envy, or just life, period, that something out of nowhere might happen. And it's going to hurt. Come on. Sometimes it's not going to have any explanation. But you can't give up. You can't give up. Y'all, I was hurt for a period of time. I was angry for a period of time. But then I turned it into fuel. And I said, this must be happening to us because it must be to distract us, to get us off focus, to get us to get out of the race, out of the industry, stop what we're doing. Because that company that's called the other company that we were sponsored by and said they didn't want to work with them, that was their intention, because guess what? They actually end up talking to another sponsor of ours and tried to get us thrown off that pro staff. And I had to have a conference, a phone conference with that company to straighten out what in the world we didn't know what was going on. Stay focused. Stay focused. Head in the game. Blinders on. And if you got a hater, dust them off your shoulders and keep going.